What if an interstellar object rushing through our solar system wasn't just a comet, a chunk of ice, or a wandering asteroid, but a nuclear-powered spacecraft built by an alien intelligence, quietly testing how humanity would respond to its presence? That chilling possibility is no longer just the realm of science fiction. Astronomers have captured stunning new data from 3I, Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected entering our solar system, and what they found defies explanation. Unlike anything before it, this traveler isn't silent. It's transmitting signals, structured, deliberate patterns that no one can dismiss as coincidence. The announcement, made by NASA and corroborated by independent observatories, sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. Humanity has always asked whether we are alone in the universe. 3I, Atlas may be the first object to answer back. We've seen interstellar wanderers before. The elongated, tumbling Oumuamua in 2017, which sparked debates about whether it was a shard of rock or something engineered. Then came Comet Borisov in 2019, which behaved more like a natural visitor. Both stirred curiosity, but neither provided certainty. 3I, Atlas, however, is different. Its strangeness isn't subtle. From its first detection, it carried an air of the impossible. Initially, astronomers believed it was a comet, streaking in from the dark interstellar void. But almost immediately, its light betrayed something unusual. Instead of fluctuating randomly, as sunlight bounced off uneven surfaces, 3I, Atlas's brightness rose and dimmed in precise intervals. At exactly the same time, radio telescopes detected bursts of energy. The pulses weren't static noise. They repeated. They had rhythm. When scientists compared data across different observatories, from Chile, Hawaii, and space-based instruments, the truth became undeniable. These emissions weren't random. They followed mathematical ratios, appearing in sequences that mirrored prime numbers and harmonic frequencies. For decades, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, has argued that prime numbers are the perfect universal signal. Nature doesn't count in primes. Intelligent minds do. And 3I, Atlas was counting. NASA's statement was cautious but historic. The emissions were structured, repeatable, and confirmed independently. For a space agency famous for understatement, the message was clear. Something unprecedented was happening. Then the object did something even stranger. After radar pings were sent toward it, the emissions shifted slightly, as though in response. Subtle changes in timing, tiny adjustments in frequency, but consistent across multiple observations. To many, it was undeniable. 3I, Atlas had noticed. That realization turned curiosity into fear. If this wasn't a comet but a probe, then humanity wasn't just observing the universe. Humanity was being observed in return. Its trajectory deepened the mystery. Normally, interstellar objects streak into the solar system, curve around the sun, and vanish forever. 3I, Atlas, however, didn't drift like a passive rock. Its path showed small but measurable deviations. Some scientists suggested gas jets from sublimating ice. But the scale and timing didn't match natural explanations. Instead, they hinted at course corrections, subtle navigational maneuvers. If 3I, Atlas was navigating, then it wasn't just passing through. It had a destination. What could that destination be? Theories flooded in. Some suggested it might be an ancient probe, launched millions of years ago by a now-vanished civilization, designed to endure the eons while silently reporting back. Others speculated it could be part of a vast interstellar network, a galactic web of sentinels, each one awakening as it encountered signs of life. Perhaps it wasn't meant for humans at all. Maybe Earth was simply intercepting a signal never meant for us, like a child accidentally picking up coded military transmissions. As the days passed, the emissions became more elaborate. At first, they were simple pulses. Soon, layers emerged, overlapping frequencies, woven together into complex interference patterns. This was no accident. Human engineers use multiplexing to embed multiple streams of data into a single channel. 3I, Atlas appeared to be doing the same, but at a level of sophistication we could barely comprehend. Some researchers described the structure as almost musical, with harmonics, counterpoints, and rhythms far beyond any composition humans had ever created. A vast symphony of mathematics, echoing through space. Was it communication, a beacon, or perhaps even art? Within those signals, certain constants appeared. Hydrogen's spectral line. The Fibonacci sequence. Orbital ratios. It was as though the sender had embedded universal fingerprints, markers that any scientific civilization would recognize. If so, the signals weren't just designed to be noticed. They were designed to be understood. And yet, no one understood them. The closer 3I, Atlas came, the more intense the emissions grew. And then came the most unsettling shift of all. The transmissions began to focus. Instead of broadcasting evenly in all directions, they seemed increasingly directed toward Earth itself. Coincidence? Or attention? For scientists analyzing the signals, the experience became personal. Some described sleepless nights, vivid dreams, even the uncanny sensation of being watched. A few whispered that the signals seemed to change after each breakthrough, as though adapting to human attempts at decoding. The more we listened, the more it felt like something on the other side was listening back. High-resolution imaging added another layer of unease. 3I, Atlas's surface wasn't the random, jagged landscape of a comet. It showed angles, ridges, geometry. Not perfectly sharp, but unnatural enough to raise eyebrows. And unlike natural objects that tumble chaotically, 3I, Atlas rotated with uncanny stability. Occasionally, its axis shifted, pointing first toward planets, then toward the Sun, then back toward Earth, almost as though it were deliberately scanning. Governments, once silent, could no longer ignore it. Defense agencies raised urgent questions. Were these emissions merely signals, or were they also pings, alerting something, or someone, that humanity had noticed? By sending radar toward it, had Earth already revealed too much? If this was a probe, then its builders now knew where we were and how advanced we had become. That thought chilled policymakers. Once revealed, Earth could not hide again. Then came the question no one wanted to ask: what if it wasn't alone? Some theorists proposed that 3I, Atlas was just one of countless objects seeded across the galaxy, each one quietly monitoring and relaying data. If true, humanity hadn't discovered a visitor. Humanity had stumbled into a surveillance network older than our species itself. Public reaction spiraled. Some hailed it as proof of cosmic kinship, a long-awaited sign we weren't alone. Others warned of invasion, calling for secrecy and defense. Religious leaders debated whether this was divine revelation or a test. Philosophers argued that it represented a mirror, one reflecting both humanity's longing for connection and its fear of insignificance. And through it all, the signals continued. Steady. Relentless. Impossible to ignore. Every pulse was a reminder that silence was gone. 3I, Atlas kept gliding, cold and unyielding. Its transmissions pulsed across observatories like a heartbeat, steady, mechanical, but alive in its own way. It offered no explanation, no warning, no comfort. Only presence. Was it a harmless anomaly, a lost probe cataloging life? Was it an active scout, silently reporting humanity's status to a faraway civilization? Or was it something far stranger, a test we don't yet understand? One fact is certain: the universe is no longer silent. And once a civilization has been noticed, it can never return to hiding.